Hello, I thought I would do another kind of comment reaction because I feel like it's quite fun to talk about the comments that I get on my channel and to kind of deconstruct them and share them with you, just for my own amusement. Um, so the irony of this is that I was listening to an audiobook called God Is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens, where he is talking about like religion and the destructive nature of religion, in history, and how it's a bit illogical to believe in a god. So, a controversial topic. And as I was listening, I get this notification from YouTube that someone had commented on one of my videos, and it was on my video about existential psychotherapy. So just talking about like death anxiety and stuff like that, and about kind of like the mind and stuff, but not really. Like it was kind of more like a psychotherapy book than a psychology book, and like a scientific psychology book. I mean, in terms of like I don't know, like perception and the things that are more about like how the mind works, like memory and stuff like that. And this comment was really hostile, as they always are. Well, no, that's not true. Like I get lovely comments from people, and there's lovely people out there that like to comment, and that's wonderful. But there's these types of comments, so it's always polarized. You get really really nice people, or you get kind of like trolls. So another troll comment, which always like makes me laugh when I read them, because I'm just like, it's just funny. It's just so funny to read. So anyway, I'll share with you what it was if I can remember, because I've just got a vague memory of it. It said something like, basically, that I was talking gibberish and did I actually know how the mind worked? Which is ironic considering that I have a degree in psychology and I kind of know how the brain works. But, I know a lot about kind of like neuropsychology and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, got an idea how it works, mate. And actually, the funny thing is as well that, when I do these book reviews, I'm kind of just reflecting on the book. I'm talking about the book and kind of what I think about the book, and I might add a little bit of kind of opposite viewpoint and be a bit critical of it or whatever. But if you actually look at my book reviews, my opinion changes like over time, as it would normally do. Like you would think that, as an individual, the more that you expose yourself to new information, the more that your opinion of things changes. And you have an opinion of something, but until you get like new information, if that kind of opinion that you had never changes, it's dogmatic, isn't it? It's not an actual rational way of thinking. So a rational person takes on new information, assesses it for credibility, and then if they agree with it, they assimilate it into the current structure of their beliefs, and if not, they disregard it. So to not kind of take in things would be a bit odd, and I wouldn't feel like I'd want to hear from somebody that had kind of dogmatic beliefs. But anyway, so this person was saying that I was talking gibberish, which I might very well have been, to be honest, because it was just this book that was talking about it, and I was reflecting on what was being said in there, and saying, which parts of it I'd actually found useful in terms of my own mind. And so it obviously had validity with me, otherwise I wouldn't have kind of said that. So I thought that was quite interesting. Perhaps they hadn't watched the entire video of it, but interestingly, they linked me to something, and when I clicked on it, it was like literally like Bible stuff, and I was just like, this is really ironic, because I'm reading about religion and Christopher Hitchens saying all about it being dogmatic, and here is a dogmatic person being very hostile towards me. And it made me think about how what Christopher Hitchens was saying is that people who claim to be Christians are anything but Christian in the way that they treat other people, because this person was just being very like unpleasant, and linking me to this. I didn't even like look at properly what it was. I noticed some of the names that are in like Bible. Like I have read the Bible, or most of it. I've read the Quran, I've read lots of religious texts, and I've also read like texts that are not religious, like Dawkins and Harris and Hitchens, and I come to kind of a middle ground, because I've looked at both sides, whereas I don't think this person is the type of person to look at both sides. which explains, you know, the comment that they've made. But the other comment, which was even more hostile, was that they'd said something about psychotherapy people having low IQs or something to that kind of effect, which I thought was ironic because they've assumed that I'm a psychotherapy person, which I'm not at all. Like, I'm really not. And because I'm not qualified in that at all, and I don't think that I really have the empathy to be able to be a psychotherapy person, to be honest. I don't think my emotional IQ is high enough to be able to help people in that way. You know, I have self-awareness, but I'm not good at, you know, understanding other people's kind of struggles as much because I'm a very logical person and I'm like, you know, a problem-solving kind of person. I don't think I'd be quite good at that kind of style of therapy. But anyway, the irony of the comment is that the person put IQ, which stands for intelligence quotient, which is actually a contested measure of intelligence. So IQ and intelligence are not the same thing. And they'd also not use grammar correctly, which indicates low IQ. So I'm kind of like, this comment suggests, it portrays that this person is perhaps not very intelligent because, one, they can't use grammar, two, they don't understand the terms that they're using, and three, they've got dogmatic ideologies about religion, which suggests that they're not very rational and they're not very logical about things, and they don't take on, you know, evidence, because anybody with a sane mind who's quite rational can look into religion and the history of religion and, you know, lots of things about it that suggest that it's pretty made up, it's kind of a fiction. But obviously that's a controversial view and not everybody would agree, but look at the documentation and the scientific things all about it, whatever. But it kind of makes me think that in order to make a comment like that, that person must have watched my video and felt the need to tell me that I had low IQ, which is interesting because if I've got low IQ, they've got lower IQ based on the comment that they made. So it kind of just suggests to me that that person has perhaps been a little bit, I don't know, maybe they felt stupid when they listened to me speaking and they thought, do you know what? On an unconscious level, they feel insecure and they feel the need to put me down or whatever. Because what is the purpose of that comment? I mean, what could that person have possibly been trying to achieve? Could they have been trying to... It's interesting. Human behaviour is so interesting. And I always think, like, you know, this person's obviously not like me, obviously has a different life experience, different perceptions of the world. And trying to decode someone's behaviour who is just completely not like you is just really... For me, I just think of so many different reasons as to why they might be like that, which might all be incorrect. But it's just fascinating. I mean, if you were trying to upset me, it didn't work because, I mean, I'm not upset by a randomer online that's making a comment about something. Like, it's fine, you can have your own opinion, I'm not bothered. And if you were trying to kind of enlighten me, I mean, you need to enlighten me with facts and figures because that's my personality type. And I also have, you know, read a lot of things and I have read your Bible, so I know what's in there. So I can kind of make an informed decision about, like, what I'm talking about. So you haven't helped me in that way. And I doubt that comment's made you feel better either. I doubt that, you know, brought you any joy. You kind of just contributing towards, like, a not very nice kind of comment environment. So yeah, it's just very odd behaviour. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But I've said this before, I think I kind of just wanted to do like a reaction just in case there's anybody who, because I was watching actually like a podcast on YouTube with Rajan Chatterjee. He's like a doctor who's done like documentaries and wrote books and things. He wrote a book about stress, which was really good. And he was kind of saying that the comment section used to bother him And I know that I've mentioned a YouTuber before that gets really bothered about the comments and things like that. You've got to understand that the people that are commenting are not kind of rational, and are not like nice, and are not like, you know, ones to listen to. Like, it's just one person's opinion, and are you really that bothered? Like, is that really going to change like who you are and your worldview and whatever? You know, there's people who have their own opinions about things all the time, and it's just not worth bothering about. Like, there's just no point like letting it affect you, because the people that comment negatively and horribly, like, they don't have any content of their own. Like, they don't have the balls to actually make a video and discuss things themselves, and they don't like create and put things out in the world, and, you know, they're not contributing. Like, they're always very quick to like comment and, you know, make negative comments towards other people, but they don't kind of put themselves out there. You know, they're resentful because of that. You know, you've got to think, when people have an issue with you, it's either because they think that you don't like them, or that you've got something that they wish they had, or, you know, there's something that you are like that makes them feel insecure. I mean, you could be more intelligent than them, you could be prettier than them, you could be you know, more successful in terms of your job than them, or you might earn more money than them, or, you know, you might have a better relationship with your friends than them, or your family than them. Like, there's lots of different things that people look at and want for themselves, but instead of going and getting it, they just resent that person. And, you know, what you see on the outside is not necessarily like the real picture. Like, you're idealizing that person, because everyone's got their struggles and everyone goes through things, and what you see on the surface is not actually what their life is like. So it's just silly to get bothered by other people, and it's silly to think that, you know, someone's opinion of you is coming from a logical, honest place. Like, it's not. Like, just don't listen to any negativity that is coming at you, because that comment is more of a reflection of that person than it is of you. And so, you know, like, I've just blocked that person, like, so that they don't have any kind of temptation to make any other comments, because, like, it's just a waste of time, isn't it? It's a waste of energy. Like, that person's put that energy out into the world, and it's had zero effect. Like, it's done nothing apart from give me a laugh. So it's just you know, that person could be making the world a better place. They could be, you know, trying to help people out. They could be doing something positive with their lives, but instead they've chosen to do something negative. And I recognise that could be because they're in a bad place, or because, you know, their life's not how they wanted it to be, unfortunately for them, maybe based on things that have happened to them, which is unfortunate. But, you know, even if bad things have happened to you, it doesn't mean that you go down that negative path. Like, there are plenty of people that have had adverse things happen to them that have made the best of it and done something good with their lives. Like, you know, what are you doing? Like, think about what you're doing. Like, why are you commenting like that? But I don't want to veer into what I've already discussed, which is my online etiquette and my other comment section. I actually thought I was probably going to talk about more things in this, but I haven't. I've just ended up talking about the same things, haven't I? But here we are, another video thanks to a negative comment. So I've taken what you've given me and made something positive out of it. So thanks very much.